to level ourselves off and to see where we fit in the measure of the barometer of the righteous. For everything that we have chosen to do is the result of our reality. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
When I was away doing time for breaking the law,
Come on, brother.
it's funny, this morning, Minister Arthur asked me, he said, brother, when you were away, how did it feel when you would receive the final call or word from a believer or something from out there to bring light to the inside? And I told him, I said I would cry sometimes because sometimes I would be in harmony with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and other times I would cry because the information that I would receive, I was so happy to receive it. I remember in 1996, between 98, that it was either my wife at the time, Brother Anthony Levin, or Brother Salam, who was sitting right here with us, brought me in some notes from a believers meeting, and in that believers meeting, the minister said something with regard to this tweet that I just read, which I will read one more time. All we are in this life is a result of what we choose and the consequences or rewards of our choices. But back then, between those 3 years, the minister said, if your life, speaking to the believers, if your life is not in a constant state of improvement, you don't love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad enough. I'm going to say it again. If your life is not in a constant state of improvement, you do not love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad enough. So we can always lean on an excuse and say, well, my people are destroyed from a lack of knowledge. Is that right?
That's right.
But that's not right. Because this wisdom has been here now for 89 years. Is that right? When Master Farah Muhammad came in 1930. And we have been given supreme wisdom so that we can make supreme choices. I ask you a question. Can a devil fool a Muslim? Not nowadays, right? Why? Because we believe that we have been visited by the mighty one of power. And we stand here today, resurrected men and resurrected women, because we made the conscious choice to follow that man. Is that right? All praise be to Allah. You ask, why would God visit us? Why would he visit us? Why not? Huh? Does it not say that God would come and choose the bottom rail and make it the top? That he would make the last and make it the first. Is that right? That he would take the tried and the rejected stone and make that the headstone of the corner. So when God chooses a people, he enters into a contract with them. He enters into a marriage relationship with them. He enters into what's called a covenant relationship. And if you don't fulfill that covenant, he divorces you and chooses someone else. How can we prove that in no limit of time? And what does that have to do with us making choices and our reality based on those choices? Let us look at the Jews. They were given the book, is that right, called the Torah. But if they did not alter the word of God, there would be no need for the Quran to come into existence. So you had a covenant relationship, you failed in your contract, and that was given now to somebody else. Let us look at the Muslim world. The Muslim world had a covenant relationship with God. Is that right? But they deviated from the word of God. So God removed them and chose someone else. Is that right? They do get mercy, however, for keeping the book pure, but because they deviated from the truth, you can't even distinguish the truth from the falsehood when they give it to you. So God comes and he chooses us. He chose us, black people in America, to fulfill that covenant relationship. And we must line our choices up with his choice. All praises be to Allah. We must line our choices up with his. Because as it says in the scripture, God speaking, my thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways are not your ways. Mine are from above while yours are from beneath. Is that right?
That's right.
So this is why we're taught to think 5 times before we speak. Is that right? Because we want to not come from ourselves. We want to rise up into the mind of God. Is that right?
Yes.
Let me read to you real quick from the Bible about growing up into the mind of God. Is everybody all right?
Yes, sir. Take your time. Come on.
No, we're not going to take our time because we want to hear from Minister Arthur, brother. You ain't going to play me out. No, sir. I know what you mean. In the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 13 to 14, it says, enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the road that leads to destruction. And many enter through it, but small is the gate, and narrow is the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. In the book of Deuteronomy, the man of the scripture, the man who styled like a Moses in the scripture, presents two signs to the people. And one is of life and one is of death. And he gives them a choice. Choose life or choose death. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is in our midst. He is in this world to force us to make a choice. He is named Farrakhan, coming from Furqan, means that he is a distinguisher between that which is right from that which is wrong, that which is truthful from that which is false, that which God is pleased with that which God is not pleased with. Is that right?
That's right.
So he's not a therapist. He's not here to draw out your choices and all of that and draw all your options out so that you can make a choice. He comes and tells you what God wants and now forces you to make the choice. Is that right?
That's right.
So he's asking us to choose life. Choose life and do away with the ways of death. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad ordered us to follow him. Is that right?
That's right.
Why should we follow and obey him?
Come on.
Because he is that man who drunk in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He is that man who's become one with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He is the man who's become one with the Messianic mission, and we are the Messianic people, so it is our time to line our choices up with his choices. Is that right?
That's right.
So, brothers and sisters, this is the day of decision. We have to make a conscious decision today to follow the right man. Are you going to follow Trump, or are you going to follow Farrakhan? Huh? Can you get to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? Can you get to Christ by following Trump? No, sir. Can you get to Christ by following Ali? Can you get to Christ by following Malcolm? Can you get to Christ by following Imam Mahdi Muhammad? I say, no, sir. You can only get to Christ by following that man that Christ gave himself to and wants to link his mind up with. So as he's linking up his mind, I said it last time, A is to B as B is to C. And C is we and C is he, because greater is he that is in we than he that's in the world. So let us please make the right choice in following the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Yes, brothers and sisters, help me to receive to the rostrum,
yes, sir,
a man who made a conscious choice to follow the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, yes, a man who is not wavering, a man who is committed to this mission. He's never left the mosque. He's never fell short on his post. He's here, and he's always on his post, and today he's going to help us to follow Minister Farrakhan into Christ consciousness. Welcome with a warm round of applause, our minister, student minister, Arthur Muhammad.
yes, sir.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I thank Allah for his prophetic community. We could never thank Allah enough for sending Moses in the Torah,
That's
or
right.
the Old
Come
Testament.
on. That's right.
We could never thank Allah enough for giving us Jesus in the Injil, or the gospel known as the New Testament. And certainly we could never thank Allah enough for sending us Prophet Muhammad in the Holy Quran. Peace be on these worthy servants of the Almighty God. As a young man
Yes, sir.
in the streets,
Yes, sir.
I can't thank Allah
That's right.
enough
That's right. Yes, sir.
for allowing me to hear a voice crying out in the wilderness.
That's what it was. That's right.
And that voice was saying, get up,
Get up. Come on.
stand up,
Stand up.
clean up,
Come on.
wake up,
Yes, sir.
get up,
That's right.
stand up,
Wait.
wake up, clean up. And I thank him that I was able to hear it in spite of my drunkenness, in spite of my self-conceit.
Come on, man.
I kept hearing that voice, and as much as I was trying to run away from that voice, Minister Farrakhan, I thank Allah that that voice overcame me. And at the age of 23 years old, I decided to stand up and help that man.
Go ahead.
But let me tell you about this man.
Yes, sir.
And this is still in my salutation.
That's right.
As much as I was connected to Minister Farrakhan, he kept giving honor and praise to Allah for a man that raised him.
That's right.
The most honorable Elijah Muhammad. In fact, he says, don't love me if you don't love Elijah Muhammad.
That's right.
And he calls me, all praise be to Allah, to study this man, Elijah Muhammad. And I found that he was as humble himself, because he would say that whatever I offer you is from God in person, who came by the name of Master Fard Muhammad. So they are examples of gratitude. So I greet you in all of those names with the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. All praises due to Allah. Welcome to Muhammad Mosque number 7. On this gloomy, doomy, but God-given day.
That's right.
For every day above ground is a blessed day.
That's right.
For it is another day to solve a problem, another day to get it right.
That's right.
And so no matter what's going on outside, you took your time to come inside.
Come on.
And so it is my prayer that we are lifted 1 degree higher in our knowledge, our wisdom, and our understanding. And I was sitting in the back listening to the students in the ministry. What a potpourri of preaching. I mean, you had a brother talk about how to eat the limbs. You had another brother talk about humility. You had another brother talk about the right choices. This is good food for us. Is that right or wrong? It's a well-rounded message. Before I begin what I have to offer you this morning, I could not go forward without thanking the minister of Mosque number 7.
That's right.
The East Coast regional representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is constantly working right now. He is in upstate New York, Buffalo, New York. And our beloved brother, Minister Hafiz, I heard him on Facebook. He was dealing with a community setting where there were 4 shootings in Buffalo. He had the opportunity to visit Niagara Falls for the first time on his way up there. But our beloved brother minister is speaking at the mosque today. And as his assistant, I'm blessed to stand in for him. And I pray, Allah, that I am worthy of that task. My subject this morning is entitled, Following Farrakhan into Christ Consciousness.
Come on.
All right, I think we're going to have to change this battery, brother. Yes, sir. I think so.
Go ahead, Muhammad.
Now, we who declare ourselves to be Muslims and members of the Nation of Islam are proud and loyal followers of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
That's right. That's right.
Meaning, we make no apology for our ideology and our allegiance to him.
That's right.
Meaning that we are not afraid to say it. We are not ashamed to show it. We are very bold in our affirmation to the world that we stand with Minister Farrakhan.
That's right.
And when we say that we are followers of the minister, we want to explain exactly what being a follower of Farrakhan actually means, because in this new social media age, the word follower and following have taken on a totally new meaning today.
Go ahead.
So we want to be as clear as possible in our explanation of the word follow, because at the end of the day's message, we want you to also follow the man.
Go ahead.
You who are present here at the historic Mosque number 7, you who are listening live via Facebook, we want you to follow the man that God has raised up in these last days and time for you and I, which again is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Now, in the world of social media, The word follower, man, I'm having a problem with this, Brother Steve. Yeah. You might have to click when I tell you to click.
Inshallah. Yes, sir.
That's all right.
Come on.
Check to see if that piece is in. Is it? All right. So switch it up. Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
Little technological glitch. I had a couple of glitches today for the Lord's most merciful.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. They are glitching.
Working now? Okay. There you go. Now let me see if it's working from here. There you go. All right. Now, in the social media world, the word follower refers to a person who subscribes to your account in order to receive your updates, your posts,
Right.
your comments,
Right.
your pictures, your likes, your shares. So in that context, nearly everybody on the planet Earth has followers. But everybody is not a leader, is that right? So when we say that we are followers of Farrakhan, we don't mean it in the context of social media, though most of us do follow Minister Farrakhan via Twitter, via Facebook, via Instagram, and over the internet via YouTube. Just by a show of hands, how many of you follow Minister Farrakhan on social media? Right? Look around. That's nearly 95% of the room. If the truth be told, Minister Farrakhan has hundreds of thousands to millions of followers on social media. But I want to be crystal clear this morning that there is a distinction between social media following and frontline following.
That's right.
Social media following, though we appreciate it, doesn't require your commitment. It doesn't require your sacrifice. It doesn't demand from you your obedience, your loyalty, your immediate attention. You pretty much on social media follow people at your leisure. You can follow somebody in your bed. You can follow somebody on the toilet seat. When you're a social media follower, is that right or wrong? However, being a frontline follower or a soldier of the minister does require obedience, discipline, devotion, and an undying sense of duty because there is a mission at hand that must be completed. So in my brother Alton's voice, we are military. See, we who follow the minister are very serious about our commitment to him.
That's right.
For our commitment to him is actually our commitment to the mission and the cause that he represents, which is the upliftment of black people. See, when you truly become Christ conscious, you fall in love with the people that Christ came to save.
That's right.
But what we must know about us, what I want people to understand about us, and Brother John gave a slight indication that before Islam, we wasn't always like this.
Right.
Before Islam, we wasn't always like that.
That's right.
Before Islam, we wasn't down for the cause. We wasn't down for our people. Before Islam, we was on the block selling rock.
That's right.
Before Islam, some of us was in the bars getting drunk, smoking cigarettes, multiple packs of cigarettes, putting poison in our system. Is that right or wrong? Some of us was club heads. We went to every club in New York City that you can imagine. Many of us were playing dice, playing poker, gambling our rent money away. We were robbers, shooters, con artists, weed sellers, weed smokers, smoking Wooler blunts in this room.
That's right. Killers.
Smoking cracks, selling cracks, killers. But once we heard the minister, his words literally changed our minds.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
His words changed our thinking.
Yes, sir.
His words were the causative agent for us to change from our wicked ways and try to live a righteous life. Hell, most of us, all of us, when we heard Farrakhan, we was ready to change our names.
Right.
For Farrakhan
Yes.
is a change agent. You can't follow the minister and stay the same. Brother John, you said that.
Right.
If you are not increasing your levels mentally, physically, spiritually, mentally, and morally, you don't love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad enough. Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us that the black man is God. And if you believe that and you love the language and you know the possibility, you cannot stay the same nigga. You can't be a halfway Muslim.
That's right.
Mobb Deep said ain't no such thing as halfway crooks.
That's right.
If we got any martial artists in the house, martial artists respect martial artists, but they don't respect partial artists.
Right.
Is that right or wrong?
That's right.
All right. And so what we're finding now, brothers and sisters, is that more and more, day by day and week by week, social media followers are converting into and becoming frontline followers by the dozens, making social media a modern day agency for the liberation of black people, and that has our enemies very upset.
That's right.
Are y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
So the enemies of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who, make no mistake, is the legitimate premier leader who speaks for the legitimate aspirations of black people.
Yes, sir.
The enemies of the minister are attempting to get the minister permanently kicked off of social media.
Come on.
Right?
That's right.
If you look, after the minister made the comment that he is an anti-termite,
Come on.
he says, I'm not an anti-Semite,
That's right.
period.
That's right.
I am an anti-termite. And if you know anything about termites, termites erode the foundation of a structure.
Right. That's right.
If that structure is made out of wood, and a termite is like a hypocrite or an agent, someone trying to undermine the foundation of your spirit and your belief in the man and the principle.
That's right.
So he wasn't making a correlation to Jews and termites. He was just saying that a termite is someone that tries to undergird or undermine or subvert that which you believe on, that which you stand on.
Right. That's right.
But they were able to attempt to twist the truth, saying that the minister made the correlation, and newspaper after newspaper, television show, or news show after news show, the blogosphere, and all of the online magazines, particularly the ones who are Jewish dominated,
That's right.
they went and asked Facebook, they have went and asked Twitter to permanently take Minister Farrakhan off of the scene. It is not because of his comments. They understand that what social media provides is unfettered access to Mr. Farrakhan's heart, mind, and soul. And if you sit down and listen to the minister or the source's mouth, then you don't have to worry about hearing what he said from the horse's mouth, which is the press, a bunch of jackasses when it comes to covering the truth of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Is that right or wrong? So when you see the clip of the minister itself, it's very clear he wasn't calling the Jews termites, but if you rely on them for your information, you think that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a hater. Y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
Let me explain. They're giving our sister Omar a lot of hell because she made a comment and said that the Jewish people in Congress and in the Senate are pretty much puppets for AIPAC and do the bidding and have allegiance to the state of Israel. That was her opinion. They called it hate speech. So the House voted to condemn all hate speech and anti-Semitism. And they're now rewriting the definition of hate speech, going to make hate speech illegal, it's not really about Sister Omar. It's about their public enemy number one, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, to silence his voice. Is that right? He's their public enemy number one. Because he makes brothers who normally ill start to chill. Is that right? All right now.
Go ahead.
All praises due to Allah. Following Farrakhan into Christ consciousness. Now, according to the dictionary, a follower is an adherent or devotee of a particular person, cause, or activity. Get my notes.
Take your time.
Yeah. And in this leadership-based, leadership-obsessed culture, in this baller, shot caller culture, most people, especially in the black community, have a problem with being referred to as a follower. You hear people say, I'm a boss. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. You hear people say, I'm a grown A man. I'm a grown A woman. I don't want nobody telling me nothing. So consequently, the term follower has a negative connotation attached to it, as if being a follower means that you are less than, inadequate, weak, or unable to be a leader. Anybody can be a leader. I want to say that again. Anybody can be a leader, but everybody who leads is not a good leader. The world is in the condition. Our cities are in the condition. Our schools are in the condition because we have had one bad leader after the other.